They are the 7 deadly sins.
Number 10.
Meliodas and Eren Yeager in Attack on Titan have the same voice actors in both Japanese and the English release.
Number 9. It was believed that Meliodas was the first to discover and acquire the power of the demon blood. However, this is not true. His demonic powers are natural.
Number 8. Meliodas in Arthurian legend was famous as the father of Tristan and as one of the knights of the Round Table.
Number 7. In the initial one-shot of the manga, Meliodas had a BFS, or large sword, instead of the broken sword that we see him wield now. And the bar he owned was actually a spider-legged fortress that resembled a bit like Howl's moving castle, with the capability of burying itself like Hawk's mom.
Number 6. Most of Meliodas' past is unknown. What is known is that 3,000 years ago, he was the leader of the Demon Clan's 10 Commandments and was regarded as the one most likely to become the next Demon King, due to his strength and ruthlessness.
Number 5. Despite demons normally living for approximately 1,000 years, Meliodas has somehow managed to live for over 3,000 years. Without aging and without being sealed, Meliodas soon revealed that it's thanks to a curse that was placed on him, keeping him from dying. Meliodas is afflicted by a curse that prevents him from dying, whether via killing himself or by others, effectively keeping him immortal. However, the curse is not permanent, as he claims that it will be lifted by destroying the 10 Commandments.
Number 4. The name Meliodas is an Arthurian legend baby name, which could have been given to him due to his youthful appearance.
Number 3. The scar Bon has on his neck was caused by Meliodas. Meliodas attacked Bon over him trying to take his sword. He used Purgatory Fire as a part of his attack, which is special fire that although Bon could heal, he could never fully heal from it due to the nature of the fire.
Number 2. The tattoo of a dragon or snake eating its own tail represents Ouroboros, a recurring symbol that in some beliefs represents infinity. A reference to Meliodas' longevity and youthful appearance, despite being over 3,000 years old.
And finally, number 1. And like always, a little bit of a lightning round. Meliodas was born on July 25th, standing at 5 feet tall, weighing 110 pounds, and his blood type is type B. He has at one point in time wielded 3 different weapons. The first is Dragon Handle, is one of the keys to the coffin of eternal darkness of the demon race. The next is Liz's sword, is a sword in which his past love gave him. He now uses it since Dragon Handle was stolen. And the last weapon is Lost Vine. It's a sacred treasure. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, so I'm putting the word on the screen. It is a demon splitting sword. He sold it at a pawn shop 10 years back, and it later returned to him by Merlin. In terms of abilities, he has full counter, which allows Meliodas to reflect attacks back at enemies with much greater power. Kinda OP if you ask me. Variations include Vanish counter and Revenge counter. And that's the end of this. Okay, let's begin. Elizabeth at the start of the story is a 16-year-old human female standing at approximately 5 foot 4 inches or 162 centimeters. She is the 3rd princess of the Kingdom of Leones, an adopted daughter of King Leones, and is originally from the Kingdom of Danafor, which was supposedly destroyed by Meliodas. In Arthurian legend, Elizabeth is based on King Meliodas' first wife, Isabel or Elizabeth, who was the Queen of Leones and mother to Tristan. At first glance, Elizabeth may appear to have blue eyes, because her left eye is blue and normally has her hair covering her right eye, while her right eye is actually orange with a mysterious symbol that replaces her pupil. This power grants her great healing abilities that can completely heal fatal wounds. However, this power only works on others and not herself. The first time we see this ability is towards the end of the anime's first season, when she heals Meliodas and the other Sins and Holy Knights during the battle against Hedrickson after he attained the Grey Demon's power. This is, however, not the first time she used this ability. It was revealed that she has healed her sister and father in previous situations. The symbol on her eye resembles a triple spiral, which represents the drawing of the 3 powers of Maiden, Mother, and Crone. Her power stats are as follows: 1700 magic, 5 strength, and 220 spirit. And to give you guys something to compare this to, here are Gilthunder's stats. She actually has a very high magical ability. In the Nanatsu no Taizai popularity poll, she was placed 10th overall with a total of 2,074 votes, including online votes and postcards. In the one-shot manga for the 7 Deadly Sins prior to the manga we have all come to love, Elizabeth had a slightly different looking appearance, without bangs covering one eye, which means that the author, Nakaba Suzuki, most likely had not decided on giving her the orange magical eye at this point in time. Elizabeth's English voice actor is Erica Harlasher, who is also responsible for voicing Kurapika in Hunter x Hunter 2011. Throughout the story, Elizabeth is usually fine with Meliodas groping her, and at first most people attributed this to the fact that she has feelings for Meliodas, which is true. However, it was later revealed that she led him because she has a nostalgic feeling towards it. It makes sense for Meliodas to have nostalgic feeling because Elizabeth looks like his previous love Liz, who passed away, but why would Elizabeth feel nostalgia towards it? Well, as stated by Zaneri, Elizabeth is in fact the reincarnation of Meliodas' previous love Liz, whose full name is also Elizabeth. She feels this nostalgia towards him and falls for him quickly because she is the reincarnation of her. Liz looks identical to Elizabeth Leones except for shorter hair and wings. Liz is actually a member of the Goddess clan. Turns out Elizabeth is a descendant and apostle of the clan as well. The first instance this is shown is with her healing power and eye reveal at the battle against Hendrickson. Hendrickson also mentions that she possesses the blood of the Druid mediums that flows through her. Druids are a human clan that worship the Goddess clan. This is actually all foreshadowed with her name. The name Elizabeth is a Greek transcription of the Hebrew name Elshiva, which means God's promise, oath of God, or I am God's daughter. I am God's daughter has significance to the fact that she is an apostle of the Goddess clan. And that is the end of this video. So you may have noticed that this comment says Diana and not Diane. I was a little confused too and thought that they may have been referring to someone else. Well, there was a name change in the dub. In the Mexican/Spanish dub, she was named Diana, which is a Spanish rendering of her name from English. So let's start off with some background knowledge. Diane is a member of the 7 Deadly Sins, obviously, and is known as the Serpent's Sin of Envy. She is a member of the Giant Clan and is thus much larger than ordinary people. Her sacred treasure is the Warhammer Gideon, which she uses in conjunction with her inherent power creation. So most of the Deadly Sins show some form of elemental abilities. For example, Meliodas has fire, King has plant, and Diane has earth. This allows her to use the previously mentioned ability creation, which is exclusive to members of the Giant Clan who have deep connection with nature, and enables Diane to manipulate the earth. According to Nakaba Suzuki, Diane's age in human years would be slightly younger than Elizabeth, and what I guess he means by this is that her biological age would be slightly less than Elizabeth, because in reality she has lived for approximately 750 years. Diane is entomophobic, thus having a fear of insects. Diane is a very common given name, and the Roman name of the ancient Greek deity Artemis. In Arthurian legend, Diane is possibly related to Diana of the Wood due to her strong connection to nature. Diane told everyone that she is 29 feet tall, but Gother pointed out that she is actually 30 feet in height. She did this because she is self-conscious about her height. Ground Gladius is a technique of Diane's in which she creates a sword larger than her from the ground to attack an opponent. Diane's right glove was destroyed when she gripped and threw Gilthunder in the Forest of White Dreams. She continued the rest of the series with only one glove. And like always, a little bit of a lightning round. Diane is approximately 750 years old. Born on December 24th, her race is giant. She is about 30 feet tall or 950 centimeters. Her eye color is purple, her hair color is brown, and her blood type is O. Her manga debut was chapter 4 and her anime debut is episode 2. She is voiced by Ao Yuki in Japanese and Erica Mendez in English. And that's the end of this. Elaine is King's younger sister, but despite her youthful appearance is actually over 1,000 years old. And a little bit of a bonus fact, I had mentioned in my King Fact video that he was the first fairy king without wings, while the past fairy kings have all had prominent wings. Well, it's actually that he just doesn't have them yet. The reason King and Elaine's wings haven't appeared yet is because they are considered late bloomers. The author of the 7 Deadly Sins drew a lot of inspiration from Arthurian legend. In Arthurian legend, Elaine of Benwick is Lancelot's mother and the wife of King Ban. Elaine of Benwick and King Ban being married in Arthurian legend shows the romantic relationship between Ban and Elaine. At the same time, Elaine of Corbinic is the one who shows Lancelot the Holy Grail, which could be seen as the fountain of youth in the 7 Deadly Sins. In the Nanatsu no Taizai popularity poll, Elaine placed 8th overall with 3,168 votes, including online votes and postcards. It has been revealed by the author that Elaine can transform just like King does, however it has yet to been shown. Now I'm super curious about how she would transform. Would she be transforming into a older, hotter, maybe more mature version of herself? Or would it be extremely similar, as in she would be transforming into a older looking, fatter version of herself? And finally, like always, a little bit of a lightning round. Elaine is over 1,000 years old, born March 14th, height is 150 centimeters or 4'11", weighing 38 kilograms or 84 pounds, eye color is golden, hair color is blonde, her race is fairy, has the ability Miracle Wind, which basically gives her control over wind and allows her to manipulate it at her will, to the point that she could basically just wave her hand and send you flying with a gust of wind. Her manga debut was chapter 19 and anime debut was episode 7. According to the data book, her daily activity is protecting the forest. Her favorite food is cranberries, which she ate with Ban. Her birthplace is the fairy realm. Her weak point is Ban. Her dream/hope is to always be together with Ban. Her regret is that she sent Ban flying countless times. The most embarrassing thing in her life is bathing together with Ban. What she wants most right now is Ban. Her favorite animals are little birds and black hounds. Her favorite scent is Ban. The person she respects the most is her brother King. And a person she doesn't want to make an enemy out of is Ban. And that is the end of this video. Any more delay? Number 10. In the Nanatsu no Taizai popularity poll, King was placed first overall with 121,945 votes. Which honestly surprised me. Didn't think people liked King this much. Like, I like him, but not first overall. Like, that's crazy. Like, come on, Ban, Meliodas, I thought at the very least they would be ahead of King. Number 9. According to Meliodas, King is the 3rd fairy king to be chosen by the sacred tree. For unknown reasons, King has no wings, unlike the previous fairy king and the 1st fairy king who had prominent wings. Although, he can still fly because he possesses the ability to levitate. He demonstrates great skill in using it and is able to move quickly through the air. He can also utilize this ability to levitate objects and manipulate their trajectory without the need to make any direct contacts. Number 8. King was voiced by Max Mittelman in the English release, who is also responsible for voicing Saitama from One Punch Man and Kosei Arima from Your Lie in April. Number 7. King has a sweet olive-scented body odor in his childlike form, but a musty, sweaty smell in his chubbier human form. Number 6. King sleeps on a hammock beside the window on the 3rd floor of the Boar Hat, an excuse to watch over Diane, and King currently shares his room with Ban. Number 5. Chastifol, King's sacred treasure, the Spirit Spear, is a spear crafted from the sacred tree only found in the fairy realm. It is much stronger than steel and possesses the mysterious qualities of the tree, which King's ability Disaster draws out. It has several different forms, including a pillow which can act as a shield, different forms of spears, and a large stuffed grizzly bear. Number 4. The aforementioned Disaster ability allows King to exercise complete control over life and death by altering and controlling matter at a molecular level. For example, he can turn a shallow scratch into a fatal wound, a minor poison into a lethal toxin, and a small benign growth into a cancerous tumor that can devour a body whole. It also gives him complete control over nature, allowing him to manipulate various flora, letting it flourish or perish in seconds. Number 3. The character that would become the king that we know and love was originally going to be a fairy prince by the name of Jihan, and he was originally going to be the Sin of Pride. Like King, his real name was Harlequin, or however you pronounce that, and Jihan was merely a pseudonym. With his sin being pride, he was going to be an annoying stuck-up prince, and what makes his character most different from the character we know is what he transformed into, not a pudgy fat man, but rather a pudgy little baby. Number 2. Elaine is King's sister, who he left at the fairy forest for 700 years protecting the Fountain of Youth. He was upset at the discovery of her death, vowing to avenge her by killing Bond, who was reported to be the one who killed her. King also dislikes Bond because he dislikes people who are often drunk. Number 1. And finally, like always, a little bit of a lightning round. King is over 1300 years old, born on April 1st, and his race is fairy. In his fairy form, he is 160 centimeters or 5'3", and in his human form, he is 180 centimeters or 5'11". Weighs roughly 265 pounds in his human form and 106 pounds in his fairy form. His symbol is a grizzly bear. His manga debut is chapter 17, and his anime debut was officially 6 when we were able to see his face, but technically we saw him masked in episode 2.